Telegram stops loading on your iPhone. Messages hang on the spinning clock, and you don't know if it's your Wi-Fi or a block. The fix on iOS isn't a VPN app. Telegram has proxy support built into the app itself, and using it is faster, lighter, and harder to detect than routing your whole phone through a VPN. This walkthrough shows you exactly where the settings live and how to enter a proxy correctly the first time. I run managed Telegram hosting and proxy infrastructure on dedicated hardware in Singapore, so the proxy screens on iOS are something I look at constantly. I'll show you both the one-tap link method and the manual entry method, because on a censored network, the manual method is the one that always works when the easy one fails. First, why use the built-in proxy at all instead of a VPN? A VPN on iOS routes everything, every app, through one tunnel, and that's heavy on battery and easy for a network to spot and throttle. Telegram's own proxy only routes Telegram. The rest of your phone stays on the normal connections. It's lighter, it survives longer on restrictive networks, and it doesn't trip the VPN detection that a lot of corporate and country networks now run. If your only problem is Telegram, the in-app proxy is the right tool. There's another reason iOS users specifically benefit. Apple's App Store gets pulled in censored regions, so VPN apps you'd normally download vanish right when you need them. But Telegram, once it's installed, carries its proxy support inside it. You don't need to fetch anything new. You just need three values, a server, a port, and a secret or a password, and you can type those in from a screenshot or a friend's message even when the App Store is unreachable. That resilience is the whole reason this method matters on iPhone. There are two proxy types iOS Telegram supports, mtproto and SOX5. mtproto is Telegram's own protocol with built-in camouflage. It's the one that disguises your traffic as ordinary HTTPS and survives deep packet inspection best. SOX5 is a generic proxy that tunnels the connection through an intermediate server, and it shines when that server is a real phone on a real mobile carrier, because the exit IP looks like a normal mobile customer. For getting past the country block, mtproto is usually the stronger pick. For making your account look like it's on a clean mobile IP, SOX5 to a mobile proxy is the move. I'll cover entering both. Save into one-tap link method first, because it's the fastest. If someone sends you a proxy as a link, it will look like t.me/proxy with a question mark and some settings after it, or it will start with tg://proxy. Tap that link on your iPhone while Telegram is installed. iOS opens Telegram and shows a dialog that says enable this proxy with the server and port listed. Tap connect proxy and you're done. It gets added to your proxy list and switched on. That's the whole flow when a link works. Now the manual method, the one you need when links won't open or you're typing in credentials from a provider. Open Telegram. Tap settings in the bottom right. Tap data and storage. Scroll down to proxy and tap it. On that screen, you'll see a toggle for use proxy and a button that says add proxy. Tap add proxy. iOS asks which type, mtproto or SOX5. Pick the one your credentials are for. For mtproto, you fill three fields. Server, that's the IP address or host name. Port, usually 443, and secret, that long hex string. Paste each one exactly, no extra spaces. The secret in particular is long and a single missing character means it won't connect. Tap done. It appears in your list with a check mark and after a second, a ping time in milliseconds. That ping is your proof it reached the server. If you paste the secret and it stays blank or shows an error, you've copied a space or a line break with it. So clear the field and paste again cleanly. For SOX5, you fill server and port, and then username and password if the proxy uses authentication, which most paid mobile proxies do. A typical mobile proxy gives you a host, a port like 1080, and a user and pass. Enter all four, tap done, and again you get a ping. SOX5 mobile proxies on a real carrier IP are how you make Telegram on your iPhone appear to come from a normal Singapore mobile customer rather than your home Wi-Fi. Once a proxy is in the list, tap it to make it active and flip the Use Proxy toggle at the top on. You can store several and switch between them. One detail people miss, there is a setting on each proxy for use for calls. Telegram voice and video calls reveal your IP to the other party by default, for a peer-to-peer connections. If you want calls to also route through the proxy and hide your real IP, turn that on. For messaging only, you can leave it off and save a little latency. It's worth storing more than one proxy on purpose. On a restrictive network, the proxy that worked this morning might be blocked by tonight. If you keep 2 or 3 saved, switching is one tap, no retyping. I'd keep a private mtproto endpoint and the mobile SOCKS 5 proxy both saved, so when one stops responding, you flip to the other and keep going. Telegram remembers the credentials, so the cost of keeping spares is just a little screen space. While you're in that proxy screen, look at the small status text under each entry. iOS tells you connecting, connected, or unavailable, and it updates live. That wording is more useful than the ping alone. Unavailable means the server didn't answer at all. Connecting that hangs means it answered but the handshake stalled. And connected with a ping number means you're good. Learning to read those 3 states saves you from guessing. Here's the link format spelled out because you'll want to recognize it and even build your own. An mtproto link reads tg://proxy server equals the host ampersand port equals 443 ampersand secret equals the hex. The web version is the same thing, starting with t.me/proxy. A SOCKS 5 link reads tg://SOCKS server equals host ampersand port equals the port, and then optionally ampersand user equals and ampersand pass equals. If you can read those, you can hand build a link from raw credentials and tap it to install. Now the edge cases, because iOS has a few specific ones. First, the proxy toggle looks grayed out or won't turn on. That almost always means the one proxy you've added failed its connection test, so iOS won't let you enable a dead proxy. Check the ping. No ping means wrong server, wrong port, or a typo in the secret. Fix the entry and the toggle comes alive. Second, you get a ping but messages still don't send. A ping means iOS reached the proxy server, but the proxy might not be relaying to Telegram's servers. For mtproto, the secret might be the wrong type or expired. For SOCKS 5, your username or password might be wrong, or the proxy provider hasn't whitelisted your current IP. Ping proves reachability, not full function, so don't assume a green ping means everything's perfect. Third, battery and data. Because the in-app proxy only touches Telegram, the battery hit is small, much smaller than a full VPN, but a flaky proxy that keeps reconnecting will churn battery and data as it retries. If you notice drain, it's usually a half-dead proxy. Swap to a stable one, and if you're on iOS low data mode, Telegram throttles background activity, which can make a proxy connection feel slower to wake up. Turn low data mode off for cellular if Telegram feels sluggish through the proxy. Fourth, the proxy works then dies after a day. Public proxies burn fast. The IP gets blocked or the endpoint fills up. This isn't an iOS problem. It's the nature of free shared proxies. A private endpoint or a paid mobile proxy on a real carrier IP lasts far longer because it isn't being hammered by 1,000 strangers. Fifth, airplane mode trick. If Telegram is stuck and won't pick up a freshly added proxy, toggle airplane mode on and off, or force quit Telegram by swiping it away and reopening. iOS sometimes caches the old connection state and a clean restart forces it onto the proxy. Sixth, the link opens Safari instead of Telegram. If you tap a t.me/proxy link and it opens a web page instead of jumping into the app, long press the link and choose Open in Telegram, or copy the link and paste it into a Telegram chat with yourself. Then tap it from inside the app. That forces iOS to hand it to Telegram rather than the browser. The tg:// version of the link skips the browser entirely and goes straight to the app, so prefer that one when you can. Seventh, Wi-Fi blocks it but cellular doesn't, or the reverse. Some networks block Telegram and the common proxy ports, others don't. If your home Wi-Fi blocks the proxy, try the same proxy on cellular data and vice versa. The proxy entry doesn't change, only which underlying connection it rides on. This quickly tells you whether the block is on your local network or further upstream. A quick, honest note on what a proxy fixes. It moves your Telegram connection to a different exit point. It gets you past a network block, and it can change the IP your account appears to use. It does not change your device fingerprint or how the account behaves. If your goal is one personal account getting through a block, a proxy is the complete answer. If you're running several accounts that each need to look like a separate real person on a separate real device, the connection is only one piece, and a proxy alone won't carry that. Fullständigvis contained ifan Yomnitius kamni niemdien derby. After you've connected through a proxy, open a chat and send yourself a quick message. Then load a piece of media like a photo or a sticker. Messages can sometimes squeak through a half-working proxy while media fails, so testing both confirms the connection is genuinely solid and not just barely alive. If text sends but photos hang forever, the proxy is overloaded or throttled, and that's your signal to switch to a spare. That last case is exactly what we handle. We run managed Telegram hosting and proxy infrastructure on dedicated hardware in Singapore. Real carrier access and clean endpoints kept healthy for you instead of you chasing dead proxies. If you'd rather not babysit it, start at Telegram Vault.org and use code TGYT for one phone and one account though. The steps here are genuinely all you need. So to recap, settings, data and storage, proxy, add proxy. Pick mtproto or SOX5, paste server, port, and either the secret or your user and pass. Tap done, wait for the ping, then flip use proxy on. Tap a TG proxy link to do it in one step. If this helped, subscribe because the next video does the exact same setup on Android where the menus sit in a slightly different place. Thanks for watching.